Eorzea, which is one of three encyclopedias based and taken from the lore of Final Fantasy XIV, which is a game I've played for a lot of years and really, really enjoy. Before we go any further, though, I do want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been participating in the channel of late. I really see everyone kind of watching, learning what people want to watch, etc. And like the one of my videos is now on like 1,300 views, which is wild. Because I really had no faith in that video, and then, well, it turned into what it was, which is crazy. But yeah, so this is the first of 3 volumes of the Encyclopaedia Eorzea to date, and this book covers the first expansion, so like the base game. So, backstory on Final Fantasy XIV. There was a first version of the game called Final Fantasy XIV, and that was really well, wasn't really well received, sorry, and it ended up shutting down, but they redid it from the ground up, and in so doing really won fans over, and funnily enough, a lot of people who haven't played FF games before came in because of 14, so it's a really big success story now, and as you can see, the game has really expanded. So you have 1.0, which was the original game, then A Realm Reborn, which was the remake, so to speak, and that was 2.0, and then you have the first expansion 3.0, which was Heaven's Ward, and this is where that book, A Realm Reborn, this is where this book goes up to. Then the second one encompasses Stormblood, which was the second expansion, and the third book covers 2 expansions, Shadowbringers and Endwalker. And then we're moving now, within the month, to the next expansion, which is Dawn Trail. Everyone's very excited about it. I am, very much so. But as you can see, it's a gorgeous book with amazing art. Gorgeous art. But it is very small writing. So I've kind of decided not to change to the other camera today because I thought perhaps it would still be too small to see on the camera, to the point you'd be zooming in far, far too much. But as you can see, so much detail in the book. So you have a lot of different sections here, as shown by the So you have Heidelin, which is the world, history, which is a brief detailing of the original kind of background of the universe, then the base game, and Heaven's Ward. You have her children, which are the playable races as of Heaven's Ward. That's of course changed a bit now. Her lands, which details all of the expansion zones, and then kind of details some areas that I went to next in the game but weren't expanded upon until later. Her servants, which kind of show different organizations in the world. Her disciplines, which are like the classes slash jobs, they call them jobs in 14, well, in Final Fantasy in general. But like you have Paladin, Monk, Warrior, again, not a comprehensive list anymore, but at the time it was. Her burdens, and that details like all of the enemies you might face along with this book, her creatures, and then you have supplements as well, which have like cool little, like it's a whole page on currency, just if you wanted to know. But yeah, really beautiful book, as you guys can see. So, this is all detailing the past. This is the story as it was unfolding. Then you have the races. So you have your here, which are the humans of this world. Then you have Ellison, which are the elves. There's different tribes, clans for each of these as well. Wildwood, Duskwhite, the Lalafell, which are like sort of like not your, well, I was going to say not dwarves, but technically they are in one of the expansions. So you're kind of dwarf gnome race if you're familiar with World of Warcraft or just fantasy in general. They have to do two tribes as well. Almost, well, actually all do. The one that actually differs the most. All of these are largely differing based on complexion and the like, but you actually have a whole other model for their alternate like clan. Took me a second. So you have Midlanders, then Highlanders, and they have different models, as you can see. But yeah, then you have Lalafell, Mikote, which are the cat people, very Japanese MMO, multiple, oh my gosh, I can't speak, multiplayer, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, for those who don't know the lingo. Then you have Rogadin, which are like, they're not really like this in universe, but they're sort of your orcish giant race. So yeah, and then the Aura, which were brand new in this expansion, and they're like lizard people, essentially. And what's really interesting about the Aura, or more specifically the Zehela, is they're based on Mongolian tribes. So there's a number of lists a list of a number of tribes that the Aura can hail from. You have, for example, the Goro, the Gal, the Darak, the Aragan, the Ura, Mox, Genek, Horo, Hima, Malaguld, etc. But what is really cool for anyone who kind of takes this law and wants to make something different, they detail that these 52 tribes, I think it is, are not the only tribes necessarily. There might be more. So that's a really nice open-ended way for anyone who wants to play with the law themselves. Then you have Limsa, Laminsa, which is it was a pirate city, but it's now being reformed. So more like, I don't know how to describe it actually, but it's like, it's a haven, but not a pirate haven anymore, I guess. And then you have like notable people, the map for the zone, as you can see, and then the zones, Lenortia, and their surrounding regions, again with lots of images. Then you have Gridania, which is like the forest city, very straightforward, that one. I actually, on my first character, started in Gridania. I played a Conjurer, which is like, should I say, the primary healing class at the time. Then you have the Shroud, which is the forest itself. Ulda, which is the desert city, and Ulda is very monetarily based. There's a lot to do with money in Ulda. Here's one zone, and then, very interestingly, the other zone matches the other side. As you can see, it's like a circular, very, very circular city. And then, people again, Thanalan, which is the surrounding area of Ulda, alongside Mordorna, which is its own sort of, maybe not city, but outpost. And in the base game, from 2.0 to 2.55, you actually saw Mordorna change every patch. So you'd see this place that just kind of like grew, and you didn't necessarily have any control over it, but it was really fun to see. They did that again in Heaven's Ward with Idleshire or Idleshire, depending on how you say it. But then kind of left it. They did it in a few other areas with other quests, but not quite like this again. So far, Ishgard, one of my favourite places. This is like your theocracy, your like medieval, it's very medieval. I don't know how else to put it. Very theocratic, ruled by an Archbishop Thorin, and like very heavily as you can see, it's got that very medieval feel. Knights and dragons and stuff like that. This is primarily the home of the elves. Or a lot of elves. No, not all elves. Then you have Gurthas, which is the surrounding areas of Ishgard, Dravania, the churning mists, the sea of clouds, and Azis Lar, which is a floating remnant of one of the prior civilizations. Then we have Charlene, which, whilst they kind of were given, let me start that again. Whilst we got an understanding of Charlene during Heaven's Ward and a little bit before, we didn't get to go to Charlene proper until about 3 years ago. So when this book came out, 2016, it would be another full 5 years until we got to see the place itself, Charlene itself, which is always really interesting in games when you get to see the places in question. It's like there's Alamikiko. There's lots about Alamikiko in the game before you get there, but it was, from launch, it was about 4 years until we got to go there. And Garlemald, the Garlean Empire, we didn't go there until 3 years ago as well. So crazy. But as you guys can see, there's so many different, interesting, intriguing things to see in this book. So many amazing pieces of art and such detailed write-ups on main characters, side characters, organizations, classes, like everything. It's really nice. I love it. Dragons even. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting read. I'd say primarily if you like FFF and even more so 14, but I also think you can appreciate this story if you just like your kind of compendiums and your encyclopedias. But I mean, just look at some of this art, just so well put together. It makes me want to read it from cover to cover. Just so much detail and so much care put into it, I remember, actually, when this book came out, it really shook people playing Dragoon because a lot of people thought there was loads of Dragoons in canon, in the lore. Turns out there's only 12 more than 12 dragoons. Not to say that it really matters from a gameplay perspective, but if you're like in a role-playing mindset, it might be weird for you. But yeah, so just a great book. So these were the classes added in Heaven's Word: Darknight, Machinist, and Astrologe. We've since had a lot more added. As you guys can see, there's just so much cool stuff, and some of these things will be instantly recognizable to your FF players in general, like Ifrin, Garuda, Titan, Leviathan, Ramu, Good King Moggle Mog, Alexander, Bismarck, Ravana, you know, just so well put together, and just giving ideas of like how dragons match up to one another, and some other primals you might come across: Shiva, King Thorin, Phoenix, Odin, Sephiroth, Sophia, Servan. Interestingly, I don't quite remember, but I think at the time of this book releasing, they hadn't released Sophia and Servan into the game. So as you can see, there's a picture of Sephiroth, but not Sophia or Servan, which is cool. I like that this is taken as a work in progress, as a book, but also because that's how a live service game works. So yeah, here's lots of creatures as well. Now, I know I've not necessarily read through any of the book, but if you guys would be interested in that, let me know, and we can work something out in that way. But for the meantime, that has been the Encyclopaedia Eorzea, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great sleep, a great relax, a great rest of your week, day, or whatever. And I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you guys. I'll see you later.